Hello, my treasures. It's time to brew up a brand new deck with even Lab Patron Warrior. Basically, the idea behind this is because we can get a 1-mana hero power, we can easily trigger Lab Patron's condition multiple times in a given turn using things like Sing Along Buddy, and also having a backup win condition through Odyn to OTK our opponent. It is worth mentioning that while Lab Patron says the first time you gain armor each turn, this only counts while the original copy is on board, which means every additional copy you can get another copy as long as you gain more armor, thus making Sing Along Buddy give you 3 for the price of 7 mana. Now, this is a deck that is probably not the strongest in the world, but I really wanted to showcase this as a little bit of a gimmicky deck before Perils in Paradise comes out. Now, for the Mulligan guide of the deck, you are going to be looking for any draw power cards such as Shield Block, any early game removal tools such as Blade Storm, and finally, Lab Patron is a pretty good card to keep depending on if you know your opponent is going to be a slower matchup or a faster matchup. Now, with all that being said, let's look at some games. Oh, Demon Hunter. Oh, well, this is a class that is usually a bit quicker. Lab Patron and Sing Along Buddy is something that I would normally want to keep here because that's just such a winning combo. The problem, though, is I don't think it is worth it, to be honest. Especially, okay, there are cases where it is worth it. If it is a Reno deck, then it would be more worth it. But in the current situation, I'm going to assume it's probably going to be an aggro deck. I know there was another game that I played where I assumed it was going to be aggro, and then it ended up with Reno, and then it ended up costing us the game because of good old Marin. But that was also with the other variant of the list. Like, I went back and forth between testing this variant and the pure Odyn Warrior variant, and honestly, I enjoyed this one a lot more. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really, really bad. Well, I mean, we do, if we had 1 more mana, we would be so good. Oh, game. Come on. Okay, we have the Blade Storm in hand, but just don't put down another minion. Please. Just no other minion, please. Oh, God, no. Please don't be one fear. Oh. There's actually 2 options that would have been really bad there. Oh, actually, maybe not 2 options. Definitely 1. Come on, bash. Bash, bash, bash. Or the other Blade Storm. Can we storm out of this game? No, we can bash our way out of this game. That's perfect. Oh, let's storm our way to victory, please. That feels so good. And we don't have to deal with the 13 damage. It's also amazing that they were able to do 13 damage and we're still at above 20. That's actually kind of insane. Okay, so we'll use the hammer here, attack, gain 5 armor, I think this is. Okay. There's a window shopper. Window shopper is kind of bad for us. It could be a lot worse depending on what they randomly generate. Ooh, that hurts. 6 mana. This is going to look bad, but I think we safety goggles into sanitize just to get rid of the minions and then go face. Because as long as we keep above, I don't know, like 10 HP with armor and such, we should still be fine, I think, in the long term. Okay, there's Demon Claws. There's Illidar Inquisitor. Okay, so we're taking, what, 7 damage here? Reminds me, though, I need to do something with Inquisitor. It's been a while. There was, like, some weird... Wait, what? Okay, that's... Actually, that makes sense. If we can't gain a consistent amount of armor... Oh, I think Brawl is the safest bet, actually. I don't want to min-max... yeah, we'll min-max the amount of damage we can do. We're also going to try to, like, do as much damage to their face as humanly possible. I will also say this. I don't think Ziliax came up a single time during testing so far, which is kind of depressing because I think it would be a little bit better to maybe use a different Ziliax. The theory is, like, if you can get enough Lab Patrons down, then Ziliax does kind of protect you from any 3 damage AoE. But that is a big if, and it does require your board to be full and your opponent's boards to be full. There is actually a few things that's keeping this deck down. Patron doesn't have like an instant factor to make your opponent, well, do damage or whatever. Like, if we had Warsong Commander, this would be so good. Like, not kidding. This is probably not as good as the original Patron, but it is probably the best out of the other 2 patrons that were printed after the first one, just because the other 2 do have a little bit of a harder condition to fulfill. And this one, armor gain isn't that bad. I'd be curious if we see some type of like board buff card for Warrior in this coming up set, or maybe like a, I don't know, a way to give our minions charge under a certain attack point value. I know they probably wouldn't want to print a new Warsong Commander, but given the track record of Perils in Paradise right now, I would say almost every single class actually every card that, or class that has been fully revealed so far has had a deck that got like 2 or 3. Oh, Genn. I hate you so much every single time. Like, it's one of those things that like But what I was going to say, like, if you look at the cards revealed for Perils, we're looking at Coin Rogue for Rogue, which is a idea that they made 2 sets ago. But I know coins have existed for quite a while in Rogue, like, historically speaking. Mage, you got Freeze Mage, which has gotten a few cards, I think, ever since Titans, which is actually pretty cool that we finally got that support. Paladin, you got Holy Paladin, and it's definitely got a lot of support in Badlands and Whizbangs, which is cool. And then Warlock, you got more Pain Lock support. May or may not be a pain in the butt to deal with, but it's just a good like note to understand that there has been a lot of retrends. I'm very curious of what Warrior's version of it is, because it does feel like this set is like, hey, there's a bunch of these old ideas that a lot of people love to play. Let's bring them all back, right? And then there's some new ideas here and there too, but like, it's interesting to me. Maybe I'm just biased towards a lot of the decks that got a bunch of support recently, but it definitely feels like there's a good chunk of decks that have. Okay, we're also back to this game. We're actually not in a bad position here. I would love to see a Lab Patron that would put us straight back into this game, even if we don't have ways to trigger its ability multiple times. But you never know, maybe it'll win us the game. Oh, speaking of Lab Patron, it's actually perfect. We can hero power, get a second copy, slam down good old Genn, because why not? Please don't have AoE for the patrons. You know how many times that I'm like, please don't have a AoE for the patrons? They instantly always do. I mean, at least this is one of the class matchups where they probably won't have an AoE for them. At least not for all of them. Though that does get rid of one of them. Oh, that gets rid of 2 of them. Wait, they're going after Get. Okay, well, I mean, that's a mistake. I don't think it's a big mistake, but it is definitely a mistake. What? I'll get an entire board of Lab Patrons. Don't mind if I do, actually. The funny thing... Wait. No. I was like... Funny thing is, we could use the Aftershocks to get rid of their minion. Hopefully that top deck isn't... yeah, okay, good. It's not enough damage. Good. Let's go. I was literally talking about how, like, Ziliax never came up, but, like, I mean, you know, sometimes he does, I guess. Okay, time for a game against Warlock. You know, excavating Warlock is something that I've seen a lot more recently, which is kind of a shock because that deck basically did nothing for quite a long time. And it is kind of amazing. I'm just going to assume probably someone made a video on it. We're probably only going to keep bash here. That Patron is one of those things that we could keep depending on what the actual matchup is, but it is a little bit harder to tell versus Warlock, just because there is Pain Warlock, there is Fatigue Warlock, Insanity Warlock, even, and Excavate. I know I had a lot of luck with even Warlock this month, or past month. Okay, so a slower matchup in particular, we have a few options here. We could just use our hero power, but I think we're just going to use shield block. Oh, Greedy Partner is pretty good. It also was worth mentioning the reason why we're using Greedy Partner in this list is just because we want additional coins. Oh no, it is actually Excavating Warlock. This is actually a bad matchup for us. The reason why it's a bad matchup is it's very hard to deal with a deck that can deal damage through armor. There's not many decks that can do something like that, but this is definitely one of them that can. I mean, I'm okay with them using the Saloon Brewmaster on this. Okay, coining something out. Okay, there's the Cobalt Miner. Ooh, we do have a few options. We're probably going to be using the weapon here, and then we can trade into both of the minion. We could also just go face. Actually, going face is just a better idea. More that I think about it, yeah. Let's just go face, at least with one of them, right? Oh, that hurts. That hurts a little bit. As long as they don't get the snake. I mean, even if they get the snake, we should be fine for a little bit, but put down Sing Along Buddy. The chances of them being able to deal with shouldn't be that high. I mean, it's a little bit higher if we keep the minion up on their board, but I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. Oh, well, I'm not too worried about that. Maybe a little bit, just because the offset by 1. I kind of want to put down Patron. There's a reason for this. It might look a little bit dumb, but we can go face. We get another copy. We get 3 copies. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a way to deal with it, but knowing my luck, they probably will. I just realized. Oh no, they're running Defile. Please don't have the second Defile in hand. Oh, if they don't, then we're good. But if they do, we're kind of screwed. This is the problem that I've been running a lot into with this deck. I'm not going to lie. The way this deck is kind of carried is you do have the Odyn alternate win condition. And Defile really sucks there for us. But yeah, like the alternate win condition is really nice to have as a backup plan. But boy, does it suck to rely on that like a good chunk of games. Like this is probably a game that we're going to have to rely on it a little bit more heavily just because we can do so much burst damage with it. But I don't really like it. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, I wanted that so bad. The blades, and Bladestorm and Sing Along Buddy. Both of those are horrible to burn. At least we didn't burn ETC. We still have a win chance as long as we have the ETC, right? Well, we can grab a weapon. Come on, Wind Fairy. Wind Fairy would be really nice right about now. Oh, don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do indeed. That actually wasn't the worst. Let's use hero power and then draw 2. Okay, Genn. I will say this. Genn alone is probably one of the reasons why I considered just playing the version that will be good after Genn and Baku rotate out. A lot of times on stream, the deck I always ended up drawing into Genn when I didn't want to draw him into. But I got a little bit luckier off stream, I would say so far. I say that, and we've actually won quite a few more games off stream. I did also include like aftershocks really late onto testing in stream, and I was kind of testing both variants of the deck. Also, it's worth mentioning while you do have other options in ETC, 99% of the time you're probably always grabbing Odyn just because it is your alternate win condition. We are going to try to clear out some minions here. We do have enough armor where we should be able to clear everything else out with Sanitize next turn, depending if they trade into us or if we have to, forge it. But at the same time, like, even if we have to forge it, it isn't the worst thing in the world. 6/8s are going to be a little bit more annoying. And they did trade. So, actually, we're actually not in the worst position. I do know have they used both coins that they randomly generated off of one of the early Excavates? If they haven't, then that might be a little bit of a problem. But okay, good. We can just sanitize the board without forging it down. Goodbye to all your minions. And then I kind of want to get greedy with Greedy Partner and then draw an additional card. The reason we're doing it like this is like if we can get some type of advantage off of the coins, we should be in a better position. Sadly, I don't think the second. Oh, God. Yeah. For those who actually made it to my stream, boy, oh boy, there were Domino Effect slowly became like my least favorite card to deal with because it's one of those cards that you can't like easily do anything about if you're playing this exact deck. It just is a pain. I'm so glad that they kept the snake down. That's so good. I know we're going to be taking all this damage, but I don't really care. We're going to use the coin, see if we can get anything good. Can we get something good? I'm going to go for plating just because it is a free 8 damage whenever we do get our Odyn plus weapon online. The funny thing is, I know they nerfed Odyn to be 9 mana instead of 8. 9 is actually pretty decent just because it allows you to like perfectly curve with the weapon. Even if you would probably prefer to try to use a turn to wipe out your opponent's board in between the effects. But if we can top deck Sanitize, we should be in a good position. And as long as... Oh, great. Well, I mean, as long as they don't generate too many additional snakes. Oh, there's Sanitize. I'm going to keep the Sanitize in hand for now. It might look a little bit weird, but I know they're going to be summoning a bunch of additional minions, and I kind of want to use the Sanitize once we have the weapon online so we can guarantee the face damage. Because they're probably going to be able to get up to like 40 or 50 HP, and I really don't want to deal with that. But, it is what it is. Oh, Yogg. Oh, great. Yogg. Just what we want to see. Oh, I mean, it does kind of minimize the amount of taunts that they're going to summon. I think we slam down the weapon, and I don't think we attack here. Maybe actually no. Let's attack twice. This will min-max the armor. Sure, they might be able to get a Viper, but what are the chances they're actually running a Viper? So we're going to be taking 13 damage next turn, no matter what. Which, ironically enough, is what our armor pool is at. That's actually kind of funny. We'll probably use safety goggles, forge the... Might actually be able to get game next turn. That feels so nice. I'm not going to lie. Them hitting Yogg out of all the things they could have hit. Let's go. Okay. So, if we forge this first, we probably shouldn't have done that in that order, but like, we should be fine here, right? Sanitize the board, up to 21, 24, and it's a GG! Let's go! Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, with this version, which is the even Patron Warrior, we had a 50% win rate across the 20 games I played with it. However, I will say, I did play 10 games with a non-even variant of the deck, where we're having Odyn in the main deck and not relying on the fact that we have a 1-mana hero power, which had a 60% win rate across 10 games. However, I wanted to showcase the one that is going to be rotating out soon, just because it is the funnier version of the list, which was the main goal of the deck. Overall, I do think I got pretty lucky with the variations of both of the lists, and I don't think this is really a deck that is quite competitive, but if you're looking for something really fun until the new Perils and Paradise set comes out, might be a great deck for you all to try out. With all being said, if you enjoyed the games, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.